Hello and welcome to I Can't Believe This Got Greenlit, a show where we discuss movies from our childhood, our nostalgia from watching them as kids, how they got made, and our experiences rewatching them as adults. I am one of your hosts, Nick Warner, and joining me as always, Matthew Pelton.
Hi, Nick.
Are you yawning right now on air?
Yawn. Hello.
This is absurd.
I know. I'm aware.
We're a professional show on WECB.
Are we? I don't know if professional is the right word to use to describe this show.
I guess not.
I have to warn you. I'm
Okay.
incredibly tired. This
That's
is gonna
okay.
be a tough episode.
That's okay. Yeah, it's been a really long week. I
been a
think
long
for
week.
a lot of people, it's that point in the semester where all of the work is piling on at the exact same time,
Yep.
and no one's getting any sleep, and no one's healthy.
I think all professors decide, hey, we're gonna start taking class seriously now.
Yeah,
Like they
which
weren't
is
for
weird.
most of it.
Although one of my professors was like, "Hey, we're gonna make the next big paper like half of the last paper because I know you guys are stressed." And I was
That's
like, "God bless your
awesome.
soul." But
Good for
anyways,
him.
all of that aside, we have a very special guest in the studio today. Please help me welcome. I don't know why I'm saying help me welcome as if we're gonna get like cheers
Help
from
him
the
out,
audience.
guys.
Please help me welcome Andy Hauptli. Welcome to the show.
Hey,
Andy.
thank you for having me.
Dude,
and I think
Thank you for being
so
here.
much.
I think when you guys knew I was coming on, especially Matthew, I think he said, "You know what? Andy's coming on today. I'm gonna be a little bored.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a little tired."
Time to take a nap.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly
So-
it.
it's gonna
Andy's
be an easy
gonna,
show.
he's
Yeah.
gonna make up for Pelton's tiredness.
Exactly.
So today we are talking about a movie that Andy picked. It's the 2006 film Pan's Labyrinth, and there's a lot about this movie that I have like personal things with that we've kind of brought up a couple times on the show, several times I think throughout the entire length of the show. It's been a long time coming, and I'm very glad that you picked this movie. But before we get into that, I want to say that Andy also has a show on WCB.
He does.
And we were just talking about this right before we started recording. And I just want to give it a quick shout out. I believe it's called Andy's House, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, sweet.
This is my second time in the
This is
studio today, actually.
Because
yeah.
you're Wednesdays at 11 a.m., 11 to
yeah,
12.
conveniently.
Well, actually,
you know?
let me correct that. Nick, this is our first time in Andy's house.
Right,
Okay?
yeah, true.
This is not
So
our
right.
studio. This is Andy's
guys,
house.
welcome. I'm a good host.
Feels
It's
good.
It's
It
like
feels
how when
good.
people went to Madison Square Garden for Harry's house. Harry's
Yeah,
house.
they went to
This is
Harry's
Andy's
house. This is Andy's house. Don't
Yeah,
get it twisted.
copyright.
I love it. Anyways, yeah, we're very happy to have you, now WECB veteran. Yes, so we're talking about Pan's Labyrinth today. And Andy, I want to start with you because you're a very special guest today. Do you have any childhood stories surrounding this movie, or kind of how did you come to picking this movie? Because I know I sent you a list, and I know I said, like, pick a movie from your childhood that fits this show. So hit me. What's the story?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to know off the bat, but it's directed by Guillermo del Toro.
Yes, it is.
And I think a lot of my early like film knowledge and just like childhood memory in terms of like really getting into film before I even realized that film is like more than just eye candy,
Mhm.
right? There's like
Yeah.
actual like, you know, plot, and there's like all these different elements that come together to make like a beautiful masterpiece.
Uh-huh.
And I think this is one of them. You know,
Mhm.
this is a movie that I watched fairly on to kind of like when I began studying film.
Oh. Okay.
And I think there were so many elements of it, just like character-wise, costume-wise, how like the setting was established, and then just the dynamics between like real-life issues
Sure.
and then like this fictional
Mhm.
landscape.
Yeah.
I really liked this movie when I first watched it because it was like this dynamic between like magic and violence.
Mhm.
I think when I was younger, it was like I focused a lot. I noticed the violence much more because it was such a huge contradiction to a lot of the movies I had seen.
Yeah.
But when I
Definitely.
watch it nowadays, because I've seen it probably 3 times now,
Oh, okay.
maybe 4. I'd have to double check. But now I definitely focus more on like the fantasy elements
Yeah.
of it.
Definitely.
So I think for me, it was just a very important movie growing up because it's one of my favorite movies. It's like
Yeah.
in my top 10.
Of all time?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's
Yeah.
right under Triptych About Water and Psychedelic
yeah,
Toad,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, these are films that are, you know, far beyond the reach of any
Right,
other
of
film.
course.
Yeah,
So,
it's almost impossible for little old Guillermo del Toro.
Right, exactly.
Please.
yeah, he could never.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, and then just in general, like Guillermo del Toro, there's so many movies like growing up with
sure,
his that like
yeah.
I watched, and it was so clear how much his vision like shined through each of the movies.
Yeah.
It's you can watch a movie and just kind of identify that it was like Guillermo del Toro.
Definitely, and we'll
Yeah.
get to that when we get into production, because there's an interesting story surrounding this movie that kind of goes hand in hand with that thought. So
Yeah, I mean, it's like
I'll
he
save that for
created
later.
this like universal language,
Yeah,
almost like with his
absolutely.
film.
because this film is fully in Spanish, and
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
I think it's the first movie that's not in, technically an English.
Ever?
Like American film. No, on our show.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
not of
Yes,
all
in
time.
Greenlit history, yes. I
Yeah,
think
of
that's
all
true.
time, of
Dude, it's
all
the first
time.
movie in Spanish ever, dude.
That's
Revolutionary.
crazy.
Took this
2006.
long.
It took it took 80 years in film history.
You guys
get there.
do bring up an interesting point, though. This made me think of it. It was also one of those movies that was, for me, foreign, right?
Mhm.
Always
Yeah,
growing up in
definitely.
America. And so subtitles was not necessarily something I was super used to like utilizing
Mm-hmm.
when I was at the age that I watched it.
100%. Yeah.
And so I remember from Bong Joon-ho's acceptance speech
Mm-hmm.
when
Yeah.
he got the
Yeah.
Oscar for Parasite. One of the things that's always stuck with me is like, if you can get over the 1-inch barrier of subtitles, you're opening yourself up to a whole new world,
Dude.
right?
True.
And like I very much took that into account, even before he said that, but like it really emphasized once he said that,
Mhm.
and have been trying to, at that point, expand sort of my worldview on film and not just primarily watching Western film.
Mhm.
Just because you get that whole scope. There's so many brilliant stories out there.
Right.
And I think Pan's Labyrinth was definitely one of my big introductions to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
movie was like the turning point where it went from like, hey, movies are fun and I enjoy this to, oh, there's something really going on here.
Yeah, it was one of several. It was one of several because like I also grew up watching a lot of like Alfred Hitchcock. He's
Mhm.
kind of one of my favorite directors. Really bad person, but
sure.
yeah, not a great person, but such an incredible director. And I think his movies also kind of like allowed me to have this gaze as to like film is not just, mindless activity.
Yeah.
Right.
It's something that you can actively study. And for a long time, I was like, oh, I can't even believe you can get a job in this.
Right.
Right?
Fair.
And that's like what we're doing, right? It's
Yeah.
crazy. Or
crazy.
hopefully what we're
That's
doing.
what we're trying to do.
What
I hope.
we're attempting to do.
Yes, that's
yeah.
that's an interesting story and one that I was not expecting
Kind of
to
a
hear.
beautiful story.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I know.
Most of the time people come on the show and they're just like, "Yeah, I watched it like 4 times and I loved it." And this is just like, I don't know, that was amazing. Pelton, I turn to you now.
Well, yeah, how do I follow
And
that up?
I know. That's why I'm not going next.
In terms of Pan's Labyrinth,
Yeah.
God, you can tell I'm hurting today.
You're okay,
Pan's
you're okay.
Labyrinth.
Matthew watched it 2 days ago.
I watched it this morning.
Yep.
Thank you very
Oh, this
much.
morning. I was only joking. Wow.
No, I finished
Wow.
it
All right.
45 minutes ago.
You did.
so.
Not only did I watch it this morning,
We're professional.
I watched it for the first time this morning.
Whoa.
I'd never seen
You've
this
never
movie.
seen this movie.
That's
okay.
see, that's what I was joking about, and now this is a harsh reality that I'm
Okay.
like,
This is interesting because
I can't wait to hear
going into my story,
Yeah.
because this has come up so many times on this show, just like jokes, just asides of me being like, "Oh, Pan's Labyrinth, I'm so scared of it. I can't wait to talk about it. I'm so
We've
terrified."
been talking about this since
We're
season
here.
1.
This is it.
Yeah, your day of
and I'm
reckoning is
so
here.
terrified.
The
no,
day of reckoning.
but essentially, I had no idea, talking about it all this time, that you had never seen the movie.
I'd never seen it.
But it was on the list like from day one. Because
Yeah.
I was like, I remember very vaguely what this movie was.
Now, I will say, I know what it is.
Sure.
I knew about the guy with the hands.
Yes.
I knew like the visuals of it.
So scary.
That's all. I didn't know plot. I didn't
Yeah.
know it wasn't in English. I had no idea.
Neither did I.
I just knew the hand guy.
But here's the thing.
Doug
the
Jones.
Doug
the
Jones,
reason
yeah,
why
legend.
The reason why I didn't know that is because this movie scared me so badly as a kid that I never actually watched it. So
Oh.
this viewing was my first ever actual full viewing of the
no.
movie.
Wow.
And here's
Andy's
what I'll
gonna
say.
storm out.
Guys, this is actually crazy.
That it is completely not the film I thought it was. Because every
Same.
time I had watched it, I watched the scary scene with the pale man,
Yep.
Doug Jones. Is that his name?
Yeah.
And I got frightened beyond belief, and then I ran out of my room or wherever I was watching it, and I never actually watched it, and I forgot that it was in Spanish because I think my brain was just like scary monster. I didn't even acknowledge what language it was in, and all I remember was the pale man and then the fawn, which we'll get to. That guy they both freaked me out. And then for whatever reason in my head, I thought that like 90% of the movie was in the labyrinth, and that is just not the case.
That's what I assumed too,
Yeah.
to be honest.
And then there are also like very, it's I believe after a war or during a war.
It's during the Spanish Civil War.
Civil War, I would say.
Yeah,
during it. So there's like very like grounded reality kind of aspects to the movie that I didn't know about, and there's also very biblical themes that like I didn't know about, and there's just like all this extra stuff that I had no idea.
You're too scared.
And I was just so scared of the movie. And I remember on our Zathura episode, I brought up that when we watched Zathura, I thought it was going to be Pan's Labyrinth, because in my brain, I watched both of those movies, and they're both very like visually dark, like they're just darker movies.
Yeah.
And when I watched Zathura, I only watched like a couple scenes from that, and I only watched a couple scenes from Pan's Labyrinth. So in my head, they merged because they were both kind of like these fantastical movies from the early 2000s that like looked relatively the same, and I was just scared of both of them. I don't know why Zathura, but I thought Zathura was Pan's Labyrinth. So it's this weird
both
thing
equal
where
quality too.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'd put them on the same level.
Yeah, and they came together, and I was just like, oh my god, this is crazy. But now having seen both of them, I can now say that I've seen both of them all the way through, and they're both very different, and I'm proud of myself.
So proud of you, Nick.
There's a big fear of his.
Big fear. I got over it. I watched this in 3 sittings. And
were you busy or scared?
No, busy. You could argue both.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Yeah, I was gonna
busy,
say. I stopped the film right like as I saw the Pale Man. I was like, nope, and I walked away for literally 3 hours, and I came back to it.
Did you really?
Yeah, I swear to God. I went off and did something else because I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to face this. And then I came back, and it was one of those things where I came back and I remembered the fear I had. But then I was like, okay, this is objectively not as scary, but I remember how traumatized I was. Yeah. So then it like inherently made it a little creepy for me. So I was like, oh,
so this movie
God, this movie like messed me up as a kid.
So it's a big one for both of you for very different reasons.
Very different reasons. I had never seen it all the way through. No idea it was in Spanish. No idea it. Yes, just all the things I just said. Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is so nuts.
It's insane.
No.
And
I thought I was going to be the one that shattered here and was like, I haven't seen it. Sorry, guys.
No.
I thought you'd seen this.
I think everyone has. And like everyone thinks that I've seen it. And I don't think I had until now. So that's where we are.
Wow.
Now going,
thanks, Andy.
Yeah, thanks Andy for being here and being the only one of the three of us, of the
who's
two
actually
hosts,
seen the movie.
that have seen the movie.
And multiple times.
Times, exactly.
That's
and
true.
it's like a part of your upbringing and the reason why you're at Emerson, which is kind of cool. And it's kind of cool that like, I don't know, it's like you wouldn't be at Emerson, you could say in theory, if it weren't for this film and obviously a bunch of others.
Yeah,
and then we would have never met, and then like this wouldn't have happened. So it's just cool how like this film kind of is the reason why you're here.
I always think about that.
Kind of a cool
just
thing.
Like how how did I get into this like moment?
Yeah.
Like what led up to this? Also, one quick note is like Guillermo del Toro. He always mentions that you can't have light without darkness.
Yeah.
Because like in this movie, there are like heartfelt moments.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes a lot of devastation and darkness to get there.
Way more than I ever even came close to expecting.
Right. But like, doesn't that almost make the lighthearted moments so much more rewarding?
Oh, 100%. And I think that goes with every movie, but especially Del Toro, who like has this specific idea like about that. Yeah, 100%. It totally sees its way through.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion.
Exactly.
But yes, so all of that being said, I want to go into the production of this movie because there's a crazy story that I think all three of us as filmmakers in our own right will find insane and also like really anxiety inducing.
Okay.
Before we get to that specific story, I want to talk to you about
our sponsors.
Our sponsors. BetterHelp. No, I'm just kidding.
Andy's House.
Andy's House. Use promo code Andy's House for 20% off. No. Anyways, so this movie is written, directed, and produced by Guillermo del Toro. We've mentioned that. Pretty cool. The cinematography for this movie was done by a guy also named Guillermo, which is pretty cool.
Oh.
Guillermo Navarro, who has come up on this show before, but I'm going to list his credits and you'll get what I mean. This guy has done so many projects that I don't think it would do it justice if I only named the ones on Greenlit. He's just done so much.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the cinematographer for a Robert Rodriguez short film titled The Misbehaviors. That's kind of where he started, which is pretty cool. Exactly. And then later he did Desperado, From Dusk Till Dawn, and Spy Kids for Robert Rodriguez. So all three of them.
Okay.
Also From Dusk Till Dawn, I believe, is it's Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino. That's their movie.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes. He also did the cinematography for Jackie Brown, Spawn, Stuart Little, Zathura, Night at the Museum, Hellboy, Pacific Rim, and recently the Robert Downey Jr. Dolittle movie.
Whoa.
So he's done a lot. He's a big Robert Rodriguez and Guillermo del Toro collaborator.
Guillermo made a couple appearances.
He's done a lot. and he's just I respect.
Also, so many future
heck out of
Greenlit movies on that
I
list.
know.
Those are all
There's
coming.
tons. Interesting thing about the budget, this movie had a $19 million budget. Not
That's
a whole
it.
lot for this big, epic
Yeah.
It's
tragedy.
pretty
drama.
elaborate
It's really
for how
cool.
much money that really
Exactly.
is.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
And it grossed $83.9 million. Pretty cool. So
Good
it
for
made
Guillermo.
some money.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about this is Guillermo del Toro has kind of openly been like, I want to get away from Hollywood for this movie. I want to go shoot like in Mexico. I want to do it like all kind of on my own like home territory and all this
Sure.
stuff. And I don't care how much the budget is. I just want to make this movie. And so it's kind of cool that like it's kind of a lower budget. It makes a decent amount of money
Yeah,
compared to its
amount.
budget.
Yeah.
And also, I'm glad that it got made because of the story I'm about to tell. So the idea for this film came from Del Toro's, like he has like a lot of like sketch notebooks.
Yeah.
So he has
Yes, he
these
does.
a bunch of notebooks, which a lot of directors have.
I should probably start
Which-
doing that. Shouldn't I?
but maybe not because we'll get to there in a second.
Okay.
He's been keeping these notebooks for about 20 years up until this movie, which were full of doodles, ideas, and plot points specifically for this film. And obviously he has other
So
notebooks.
he's
for other
had
films.
this idea for a long time. Pan's
Apparently, yeah.
Labyrinth.
And apparently, the story goes that he left the notebook with a lot of the main ideas for the film in a taxi, and he thought the film was over. Like, he just thought it was done.
Whoa.
And he was like, 20 years of my life gone.
Gone.
That's it. He was like literally having a mental breakdown. He was like, this is the end. This is the end of me. I don't know what I'm going to do. This is my life's work out the door. All the sketches, all the plot points, all like the story ideas, all of it's gone.
Oh my
Just
God.
left in a cab, gone.
Did he have to like fully recreate everything?
No. So the cab driver found it, read the notebook,
Okay.
realized the importance, tracked down Del Toro at his own expense, and then he attributed it to the kindness as like a blessing from a higher power. Del Toro did, and just made him like all the more determined to get this movie made.
Oh my God.
So he basically was like, when the taxi driver like came up to him and was like, "Hey, I found this notebook," he was basically like,
it's
"This
fate.
is a sign from God that I have to make this movie.
Whoa.
Like this movie has to get made, regardless of like the
Wow.
budget, the whatever."
I
And
have to do it.
That
supposedly,
taxi driver should have gotten part of the budget.
that's
I
what I'm
agree.
saying.
That
That's
guy
what I'm
should have
saying.
been compensated.
And also,
Profits.
supposedly, Guillermo del Toro gave up like his own salary. Like he was like, I don't even want to be paid for this movie.
I just
Apparently,
wanna
he
make
just
it.
gave it all away to the movie
Wow.
because the movie, like I guess, ended up costing a little bit more. And he was like, we don't have the funds. I'm just gonna give my own money towards it.
Yeah.
So he like fully didn't
Good
make
for
a single
him.
dollar.
Some
from this
directors are
movie.
like that.
And he was just like, I
not
want it.
me.
Yeah.
Pay me.
But it is pretty cool. And also the idea for this film apparently originated from Guillermo del Toro apparently has a lot of lucid dreams. So are you guys
course he
familiar
does.
with lucid dreaming?
Yeah.
But so I guess he had the idea for like a pregnant woman and a fawn in a lucid dream, and he was just like, I'm gonna make that into a movie, and that's where it started. And then he
Shocker.
started
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
the doodles in his notebook, and he
It's the most
kinda
Guillermo
went
del
from there.
Toro thing I've ever heard.
I know, it's insane.
Also, you know, fun fact:
Yeah.
the taxi driver was Doug Jones.
That would be
It's
crazy.
true. Yeah.
and
just
that's how he got the
make it.
job.
That's how
Yeah,
he got
yeah.
the job.
So that's the big crazy thing that I was like, dude, if that ever happened to me as a director, producer, whatever,
That'd be wild.
I don't know what I'd do. Like, that's just like a miracle this movie even exists.
It
It's
should have
pretty-
been lost.
Pretty dope.
Yeah.
Although it would be pretty funny if the cab driver was just like, I'm gonna make a movie.
Or
He just uses
Or he,
all
like
of the
sold
ideas.
it.
that's
Yeah,
what,
true,
I
true,
would have
true.
assumed. You got a big director in your car, leaves like.
Well, but
Well,
you
was
never
he big
know.
At, was also
You
he,
never-
was he big at the time?
You never
Guillermo
know
del
if the guy
Toro?
knew who he was.
He had movies before.
He did.
I'm sure he was, but you never know if he was like popular to the cab driver.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I mean? He
true.
could just
That
be
is
a
a
normal
good
guy.
point. Yeah.
But anyways, I found an interesting quote from Guillermo Navarro, who's the cinematographer.
Okay.
And he states in an interview that after doing, this is a direct quote, after doing work in Hollywood on other movies and with other directors, working in our original language in different scenery brings me back to the original reasons I wanted to make movies, which is basically to tell stories with complete freedom and to let the visuals really contribute to the telling of the story, which I thought was super sweet.
Beautiful.
It's
And
amazing.
adorable. And he was just like, yeah, it's like my roots in filmmaking is like this movie kind of re-energized me to make movies
So Andy.
forever. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's me.
It's just
Yeah,
I
Andy.
did it.
He also basically was just like, I hate you, Hollywood. Like in that quote.
Why is this like everything around this movie and the movie itself seems like it's just like the most beautiful process?
Yeah.
Like everyone
Stunning.
loved it. It just led to good things.
They just go out and shoot in like the wilderness in Mexico, and
Yeah,
they're all
this
just
is
like, I'm at
amazing.
home. They all lay in the grass, and yeah, it's so beautiful.
It's like the
And,
process was wholesome, but the movie was not.
it's
That's
gruesome.
true.
It's almost like who's Ari Aster? He's like
Yeah.
the most down to earth, like normal dude ever.
You watch his movies.
and then you watch his movies and you're like, you are sick.
Dude, what are you? What is
You're
this?
on something. This is insane.
I watched Beau is Afraid recently,
Yeah.
and
Dude.
that may have been one of the most stressful movies
It's
I've
an
ever
acid
seen.
Easily.
trip. It's insane. It's like I loved it, but it's just so crazy. And then you watch an interview with him, and you're like, "That's not
How's
the
this
director of this
possible?
movie."
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Beau is Afraid is one of those movies when you're watching it, you're just like, this is just my life now.
Yeah,
Like this will never end. Not
an
that it's
experience.
long. It's just like
yeah,
I don't understand what's happening, and this is just it. I
crazy.
just am Beau is Afraid.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know how you go from as an actor. I don't know how you go from playing Beau and Beau is Afraid to Napoleon in like one fell swoop. Like that's he must be going
And also Joker,
bonkers right
like-
now. And Joe, like all back to back to back. Like that's impressive. Like I don't know if my mental capacity could handle it just based on the way he does his acting. It's insane.
Well, he's another.
I know,
That's
he's
almost one
next
level.
level,
Yeah,
breed.
yeah, he's another breed. It's a scary guy right there.
He's awesome.
In the best way possible.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, back to production. The actor who played the Fawn,
It's also
who
Doug
I
Jones,
believe,
Also,
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's. I
Yeah.
think
He
he
does
plays
both?
both.
Oh my
yeah.
god, I didn't even know that.
so Doug Jones pretty much plays the creatures in almost all of Del
Yeah.
Toro's
Oh, I
films.
didn't
Didn't he
know
do?
that.
He did
No
Shape
way.
of Water.
Yeah,
Hellboy.
Shape of
yeah.
Water,
I had no idea.
Hellboy.
That's
like
very cool.
almost all the movies that involve creatures that are in suits.
Yeah.
Is almost always
Yeah.
him.
That's really cool. I had
He's
no
like
idea.
the man. 'cause
I
he's,
didn't
like,
even know who this guy
perfected
was,
Using his
yeah.
body.
That's
yeah,
really neat.
Yeah,
he's
he
a contortionist.
Yeah, that's the word.
Oh,
yeah.
no
and he
way.
he grew up, I think, with like gymnastic training or something.
Okay.
I
like
think
that.
so.
I
Yeah.
thought you were gonna say Jim
Um,
Henson. I was like,
yeah.
No,
they're
yeah.
neighbors.
what? Wow, that's really interesting. I didn't know that. But anyway,
He's a cool
so
dude.
Doug Jones, yeah, little did I know. He spent an average of 5 hours a day in hair and makeup chair for the costume, which was mostly latex foam, which is interesting. Also, now that I'm thinking of it, he probably had to do the same thing for the Pale Man. Yeah,
That's his name, yeah.
He just did
I just do the hand
Pelton
thing.
just did the hands over
Yeah.
the eyes.
I
That
don't know
was
his name. Just this
crazy.
thing.
So this movie generated $55 million additional dollars in DVD sales.
Hey,
Pretty cool.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
It won Best Art Direction, Cinematography, and oh wait, I think I wrote that down twice. Never mind.
It won it twice.
Won Art Direction 2 times.
Yeah.
No, Art Direction and Cinematography at the Oscars, and also was nominated for Original Screenplay, Foreign Language
Oh,
Film, and
cool.
Original Score, which is pretty
Oh,
neat.
that's sweet. Okay.
Interesting how it's not Director. I don't know why.
Or
Guillermo del
picture.
Toro did- Yeah, picture.
Yeah.
I wonder
They really slept
what
on
was
this
in
one.
2006.
I know, they kinda did.
So I was gonna say I was looking at like some
I'm on
of the reviews, and what's his name? Roger Ebert. Is that his name?
Yeah.
He ranked this as his #1 movie of that year.
Whoa.
So
really?
I'm curious. Yeah, like a lot of people did.
I wonder
it was
what
like
happened.
in the notes section of the most trusted source on the internet, Wikipedia. I don't know. I just don't know what other movies like really were super impactful. I'm sure there's a ton that I'm
Okay,
not
so
remembering.
I will say, keep in mind, I was 2006, so
Yeah.
I was 5 years old when this hit.
Yeah.
So there are only 2 movies I recognized that were
Okay.
nominated for Best Picture.
Oh,
One of them often gets
Yeah.
made fun of, though.
okay.
So Crash is
Okay.
one.
I've never seen it.
Fair.
Yeah.
I think that's one of those movies where it got nominated, but no one on the planet has ever seen it.
Okay.
And I will say the big one on this list is Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
Yeah,
that'll do.
That was a big one.
That makes sense. But I'm shocked that it
That's a
wasn't
great movie.
like of even that group. I don't know what else is in the group, but like, how is Pan's Labyrinth not?
I can read the others. I didn't know
Please.
them.
Yeah.
It was Good Night and Good Luck.
What is happening?
Never heard of.
2006. That wasn't even.
2006.
I guess that was kind of
Munich, which is a Steven Spielberg film, apparently.
Really?
It says his name on it.
Oh, weird. All right. Like, oh well,
Sure.
that's producers though.
It says
producers-
directed. Director Steven
no
Spielberg.
way.
Munich.
Okay.
Yeah, 78% Rotten Tomatoes.
Interesting.
Not that Rotten Tomatoes it'll be.
This is best picture.
And then-
picture is usually producer. I'm
That's
sure he
that
did
one
both.
right there.
But that's
Is
interesting.
it Capote?
Capote.
Okay, sick.
Capote.
I had no
Yes.
idea.
I might be
interesting.
pronouncing that wrong.
That's why I
Huh.
had Andy read it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
I'm not taking that
That was
risk.
out for me.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't go for me on that one because I can't even pronounce basic names.
But
Guys,
those are
I
those
There was
are
a
also-
name
5.
last week that I was like, I don't know this, and you were like, you did it perfect. And I was like, what?
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
Anyways, but yeah, it's just strange. But anyways, the last couple notes I have on production, Guillermo del Toro supposedly, again, I don't know how true this is, wrote the English subtitles himself for this
Oh.
film
Oh wow.
after problems with subtitles on previous films of his. Like apparently the translation from Spanish to English wasn't what he wanted to do like as a director. Because obviously there's not like there is like direct translation, but sometimes like with slang it's
It's
not.
a little yeah.
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 So he basically supposedly did it on his own, so he kind of had that sort of creative vision throughout.
That's
which is
pretty cool.
And then apparently he also refused multiple offers from Hollywood producers that offered up more than twice the budget for this film because he didn't want any part of his story to be compromised by the supposed market needs of the time in Hollywood.
Yes.
So he was like, "This is mine. We're going
Good
to
for
Mexico.
him.
That's it.
Right,
I
good
don't
for
like you,
him.
Hollywood. That's it."
That's amazing.
But yeah, that's the production of this film. It's kind of crazy how it's literally just a Guillermo del Toro film. Like it's very very much
Foley.
his
Yeah.
film. There's no like real studio notes. He did the subtitles himself. It's part of his notebooks. He did this from like a lucid dream. It's like such a it's like such a passion project. It's incredible.
It is pretty cool that he went fully independent. Said, I just want to make this thing. I want
Yeah.
no interference. I'm going to make it the way I want to make it. And it did kind of go down as like one of the most popular movies ever.
I know. Yeah.
Maybe it's for people our age, I'm not sure. But if you
No,
say
sure.
Pan's Labyrinth, even
Yeah.
if they haven't seen it, they know what it is.
Yeah,
They know this
absolutely.
guy.
Well, I did. I
Yeah.
sure did.
Yeah, Nick knew.
Well, we all certainly
You
know
said it, I was
the
like, uh-uh.
impact. It's like
Yeah,
we don't
for
necessarily know how many people have really seen it, I
Sure,
guess, at
sure,
this
sure.
point, but we definitely know the impact. And I know that a lot of like top movie lists
Mm.
almost always have that movie.
Yeah, it will
somewhere
feature
in there.
Pan's
Yeah.
Labyrinth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Which is wild. I'm pretty sure for a friend of the show, Yankel's, his show for WCB, apparently Pan's Labyrinth was the #1 movie on his list for the 2000s.
Oh, there you
Like
go.
of the
He
entire
actually
2000s.
told me
yeah.
that. Yeah, he
And
told
I was
me
like,
that.
well, that's insane. Like it's just such a movie that I never thought was as big as it was until I started doing research on it because I was just so scared of
Yeah,
it. And I was
it's
like,
no joke.
no, I'm not watching this. And then obviously we're here.
Guys, it's
Um,
kind of good.
It's
It's kind of
I
good.
don't know what you guys
I'm gonna
think,
wait
but-
for
Unpopular
final thoughts
opinion.
because usually
Unpopular opinion.
I kind of give away my final thoughts earlier in the show, but today I'm gonna
Hold off. Hold
I'm gonna
off.
hold
Yeah.
Stay strong.
Yeah,
You got
we
this,
got it.
Nick.
I got to mention one thing real
Yeah,
quick. I
definitely.
forgot to mention this earlier, and I don't think you guys, I never mentioned this to you guys,
Oh.
but quick shout
Were
out.
you in the movie? I'm just kidding.
No, getting there. Quick shout out to
Yeah.
Chuck Duke, who does most of the lead animation for Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
I actually know him,
What?
and I talked to him like via LinkedIn.
No
That's
way.
awesome.
And when he got the Oscar for Pinocchio, we were talking back and forth.
That's
Whoa.
rad. Oh my god, that's so cool.
And when I went to
That's
when I went to
crazy.
MoMA, because they had did you guys hear about that? They had the Pinocchio
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
exhibit at
Oh,
MoMA.
yes.
I
yeah.
also humble brag. I got to look at the Pinocchio thing at the Tonight Show when I worked there.
Oh,
'Cause
that's
when Guillermo del Toro
right.
was there.
That's
I got to meet him.
amazing.
He was super sweet.
And he brought it.
And then he
right?
brought the actual
Yeah.
figure, and they had it in like a pelican case. It was like like they had like everyone had to wear gloves when they were doing it
Whoa.
because apparently it's worth like $25,000. It's
Yeah,
like
I'm
worth
sure.
the amount of a
Yeah.
car because they have
All the
like
gears and
all the
stuff.
gears inside it comes from like watch technology. So
Oh.
it's like specifically all those little intricacies. It's super neat. But anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, they showed that kind of stuff in the exhibit.
Yeah.
But they also had like the cast and crew like
Uh-huh.
up in Polaroids on the
Oh,
wall
that's
just
so
at the
neat.
end of the
Cool.
exhibit, which is cool. And I saw Chuck Duke, and I was like, oh, I gotta reach out to him and tell him like I'm at the exhibit and everything.
Yeah.
And like this man responds so fast. Like I think he likes talking to students, which is really cool.
That's good
Well,
to know.
I know who I'm hitting
Um,
up after the show.
So I will definitely give you guys his contact.
Yeah,
please,
that
that'd be
is so
incredible.
cool.
I'll be like,
But-
Andy sent me
But he's
from Andy's house.
Yeah.
you know Andy's house.
Anyways, he's a really cool guy and he's super talented. But I should have mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, shout out to him. That's incredible.
So cool. Are you kidding
Yeah,
me? That's awesome. Let's get him on as a guest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would love. We'll talk after the show. So going into the plot of this film, we open with a fairy tale where Prince. Okay, so they
Oh yeah, we do him
it's-
with a fairy tale.
we do open with a fairy tale. It's a princess, and her name is spelled Moanna, which in my head, being a Disney nerd, I read
Moana.
as Moana,
I
but I
knew
don't.
you would.
But I don't know if it's Mona or Moana. And
Because it's Greenlit, we should go with Moana.
okay, we
Just
can go
for
with
you.
Moana. Okay, Princess Moana, which is definitely not the name, but it's okay. Whose father is the king of the underworld, visits the human world where the sunlight blinds her and erases her memory, and she becomes mortal and eventually dies. This is all in the fairy tale in the very beginning. Kind of just table setting for the rest of the movie. The king believes that eventually her spirit will return to the underworld, so he builds labyrinths across the world, which act as portals in preparation for her return. So that's kind of how we start the movie.
Yes.
And
That's
then
like
we
my
go-
Friday nights.
Yeah.
Now-
And then we hard cut to 1944 Spain.
Yeah, Spanish Civil War immediately.
Yeah.
Though I have a question, and I was gonna hold off on the question, but I might as well. So you have the dad who makes the labyrinth and stuff, and then you
Yes,
have
the king of
fawn.
the underworld.
Yeah, you have all these people. Who's Pan?
Pan is okay. I found this out from watching the movie. The very end of the movie, the Spanish translation of the film is like basically it's like all in Spanish, but it's like the labyrinth of the faun. So the faun is Pan.
The faun is Pan.
Pan is a mythological creature
Yes.
that represents the forest, and in this movie, it is the faun.
Oh.
But Pan, like depending on where you are in the world in terms of mythology,
Right.
it can change.
Yes.
It's like interchangeable.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like a direct. There could be a direct answer, but it's also a little.
Sure. That was
figured
my
out.
take of like it's Pan's labyrinth, it's the faun's labyrinth, but in reality, it's the king's labyrinth because he set it up, like the king of the
Yeah,
underworld,
he made
the
it,
dad.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of my interpretation. It could be either or.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Which also we'll get
Um,
into more about the fairy tale stuff later on, but.
Sure. But yeah, so we hard cut to 1944 Spain, where Ophelia, who is the main character, travels with her pregnant mother, Carmen, to meet Captain Vidal?
Captain V.
Captain Vidal. I'm going to go with that. Her new stepfather.
Captain Crunch.
Captain
Oh, dude, this movie would be crazy if it was Captain
He's
Crunch.
a white mustache. Dude, that'd be so cool. Yes, Captain Vidal is adamant about killing off his enemies and making Spain free.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
This is where okay. Here's what happened with me. Is this movie is currently not streaming anywhere for free. It's not Netflix, Prime.
Except Tubi for free.
Apparently it's on Tubi. I didn't know
You
that.
That's
paid
where I watched
money
it.
for it.
I did the opposite of pay money for it. I pulled the whole college trick and I did illegally download this film.
Yeah, there you go.
So I put it on.
Guys, we have this on recording.
I mean, I legally purchased this movie. So I put it
Say
on.
it one more time.
I went to Amazon.com and rented this for $3.99.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm cleared. But I played it and it was in Spanish.
Yeah.
And I did not know it was in Spanish.
Yeah.
So I was like,
'Cause
oh,
you're trying to
I
fix
put on
it.
the dub or something. So I went to the settings, couldn't figure it out. And then I downloaded a second one. Because I was like, oh, maybe I downloaded the Spanish one by accident.
Try and get the English version.
I tried to find the English
You
version.
monster.
Well, I didn't
I'm
know.
just
So
kidding.
I watched the
The
second
dubbed
one.
version.
yeah, the dubbed one. So I watched the second one. It's Spanish again. And I'm like, okay, either I'm getting like played with or something's going on with this movie. I was so confused. And I ended up Googling it. I'm like, oh, this is in Spanish.
Oh, right. The director is Guillermo del
Del Toro.
Toro. The most American name I've ever heard.
I just didn't know. I
No, yeah, that's
assumed.
fair.
I was like, wait.
To be
hold
fair,
on, this is
neither did
Spanish?
I, but then I was like, oh, right. It's a Spanish director. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm going to go.
And you know
yeah.
what's kind of like beautiful about it, to go full circle with something Andy
Yeah,
said
yeah, yeah.
earlier, is when it came on, and I was like, oh, when I found out it was Spanish, I was like, oh, subtitles. Damn. I'm just not great with subtitles.
No, sure.
And there's kind of that, you're right, that little like the little 1-inch barrier. If you can get
Right.
past subtitles,
It's
it
like one
opens
of my
up
favorite quotes.
it opens up a brand new door of movies.
Yeah.
Within 10 minutes, I
Yeah.
was used to it.
Yeah,
It was no
that's
problem.
that's what I'm saying is if people just give it a chance,
It's not as bad as
it's
you think.
so
Yeah.
much easier because then when you're, again, like 10 minutes into the movie, you're just like, oh, I'm just experiencing this normally.
Yeah,
Like your
exactly.
brain just adjusts and you're like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes, so then Ophelia finds a large stick insect, which she believes to be a fairy, and it leads Ophelia into an ancient stone labyrinth, but she is stopped by Vidal's, I'm going to keep mispronouncing that, just doing
Just say
different
Captain
pronunciation.
Crunch.
Captain Crunch's housekeeper Mercedes. And we later find out that Mercedes is helping the people who Vidal considers as his enemies.
Yeah.
So she's awesome.
If it's listen, when this was happening at this point, I was like, what is this movie?
Oh, I was so confused.
I thought it was in English, and I thought it was a bunch of monsters running around. And I was like, I don't know what's
that was
going
my exact
on.
reaction. I was like, I must have clicked on the wrong movie.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Tubi would never do me wrong like that.
Dude, Tubi's all reliable. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I was like, this isn't no
I was like,
Netflix.
is this a
this is
different-
Tubi.
like, this is-
we got it.
This is no
This is great.
Disney Plus, dude.
Exactly.
Tubi.com.
Tubi is reliable.
Tubi is reliable, dude.
But yes, so that night, the insect appears in Ophelia's bedroom, where it transforms into a fairy and leads
Very
her
creepily
through
transforms into
the
a
labyrinth.
fairy.
Yeah, it's this
It's not pleasant.
It's not
no,
pleasant
this
at
movie
all.
has very, very interestingly terrifying visuals, like throughout.
Yeah,
like
and
there's just really scary
Yes.
images to look at.
And it went from this weird kind of like I
very,
knew like
very R-rated.
very R-rated. That's what I was about to say. Is like I knew it was Guillermo del Toro, but in the beginning it sets up a fairy tale. I was like, okay, well, there's Civil War stuff going on, but you never know. And he kind of transforms into this fairy, and it's weird and gross, but it's not like blood or anything. But
Well,
then the movie keeps going.
Yeah. Blood and fairies, that'll come up in a bit.
It will come up.
But yeah, so there she meets a fawn, which is a big scary thing that would come from a lucid dream, and I'm not surprised that it did. Yeah, this thing freaked me out. I'm gonna put it out there. We'll get to more later, and I'll just keep saying this. This thing, just the way that it moved, and obviously props to the actor,
Doug
but
Jones, yeah.
oh my god, I even to this day, like I was watching this yesterday, and I was
He's
like,
creepy.
I don't like the way that this thing is moving or speaking or existing. I was so scared of it.
Because you don't know whether to trust or not trust
Yeah.
the
That's
fawn.
the whole
This is
movie,
like
too.
why it's so genius.
The genius of acting is exactly that, but it also just makes me so uncomfortable.
Oh, exactly.
So, but that's like
it's really supposed to.
that's what I'm saying is he's doing a perfect job of like that character, and like it completely does the effect it's supposed to. It just made me so unsettled. It just didn't leave me feeling.
It's also
really great.
like the most Guillermo del Toro looking thing like I've
Absolutely.
ever seen in my life.
Anytime I think about Guillermo del Toro, I just think of
this.
the fawn now.
Yeah, you think of the fawn.
But yeah, she meets the fawn, who may or may not be Pan. We don't know. But
Pan?
who believes that she is the reincarnation of Princess Moana. And he gives her a magical book and tells her that she will find in it 3 tasks to complete in order for her to acquire immortality and return to her kingdom.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know what's cool about this movie? I got to give it so much props.
why? The
I feel like
campiness
if
is
it was
awesome.
Besides that, if this was any other movie we've covered on this show, if I heard 3 tasks to do a thing, I'd immediately go, why? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
But this is a fairy tale.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point. It's
Sure.
weird stuff. So I'm like, this movie just gotta, like, I can't believe it just did that.
Why? Because it just set up that it was a fairy tale?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
It just did like the craziest plot, but they made it work perfectly. I'm like,
Yeah.
you saw it.
It also, now that I'm thinking of it, I mean, I feel like this kind of ranged throughout, but it is so cool that Guillermo del Toro was just like, what if it was a fairy tale in 1944 Spanish Civil War?
Yeah.
Like, that's just such a not,
Exactly.
like an abnormal combination.
so
and
smart.
For whatever reason, it works perfectly.
And also one of my favorite things, I'm going to
melts
spoil a
together so
little bit. One of my
nicely.
favorite things
Yeah.
about this movie is it even a fairy tale? Is
That's
this really
the
going
thing.
on?
Is who even knows what's actually happening? Because
Yeah.
especially at the end, and we'll get to what happens at the end, that was the point where I was like, oh my God, is any of this actually
any of this real?
Or
Very
like,
surrealist.
What,
Yeah.
Exactly. What is actually going on in
You
like the
don't
reality of 1944 Spain, and what is kind of like the artistic choices
Well,
that he's
is she
making? I don't know.
actually like this kid from the underworld?
Yeah.
Or is this all just in her head and she's
Because
coping
she's
with being in this?
traumatized,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. It's so cool.
It's
I think
awesome.
the biggest plot twist, though, is that book was Guillermo del Toro's journals. So
Yeah.
with the 3 tasks
That
in it.
is
yeah.
He
And
put
one
it
of
in
them
the
is
movie.
to go back to a cab and get a book. It's like just to find it. You're like the book just says like you're gonna lose this soon. Just go back to that
Imagine
cab
if
and
that's
lose
what
it.
the movie was.
That would be just the story of like the making of it. It's like weirdly really meta.
I feel like that'd be,
That would be
kind
kinda
of
cool.
I'm not gonna lie.
Meta movie.
But yeah, so then Captain Crunch lowers rations
I'm glad we've accepted
of
that.
people to
I'm so
one
happy.
ration per family and swears to continue the search for the enemy until they are defeated, so his son can be born in a free Spain. This is his driving force of the movie. He wants his son to be born in a free country and kind of under his control and command so that he's safe.
It's also 2 things I want to quickly point out.
Yeah.
One, I love how serious this movie is, and we went to Princess Moana and Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes of talking about the
Yeah,
plot.
it happens a lot.
It does.
Um,
and
it's just
and
my-
2, I go, oh, God, this movie. So you have this Captain Crunch guy,
yeah,
and you're not sure if you're supposed to like him or not either.
right.
And then I'm assuming you have the scene coming up, right?
I don't know what you're talking
The
about.
wine bottle scene.
Maybe
One of the most scarring scenes I've ever seen.
I
in my
might have
life.
just blocked it out of my brain. I don't actually know.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
You want to explain the scene for people at home who haven't seen this?
You take the description, and if there's something you missed,
There you
I'll
go.
take
Andy
it.
will
Yeah,
take
yeah,
over because this was one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
Okay.
So it's late at night, and someone wakes up Captain Crunch. Like, hey, we caught these 2 farmers. There was like gunfire, something was up.
yeah.
So he brings them out. Dude is haunting. He brings them out, and they're like, oh, we were just hunting for rabbits. That's all we were doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Captain Crunch starts digging through their stuff, trying to prove if they're actually lying or not.
Yeah.
And the one guy says something that's not even like aggressive whatsoever.
No.
He said, hey, we're just rabbit farmers. Like, that's all we are.
Yeah.
And the Captain Crunch, man, he takes a wine bottle
Yeah.
and just smashes the guy's head in with it.
So
Over and over and over
many
again.
times. And
That's
then his
right.
face
Yeah.
just crumbles.
And they show it.
Yeah, it's
They
horrifying.
do not cut away from this
Yeah,
thing.
I did not write that down because I was so traumatized by it.
Dude,
I like
yeah,
fully
it was-
blocked that out of my
it
brain.
was genuinely,
like,
such a
scary.
I
tough
forgot it was a
scene.
wine bottle because I thought it was like the blunt of his gun.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
no, it's a
but
wine bottle.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's
And,
right.
and
That's
sure,
right.
the scene was so haunting. I looked it up, and sure enough, it kind of comes from an event in Guillermo del Toro's past. Like him and his
Oh,
friends were
really?
like getting beat up. I forget exactly what it was, but him and like a group of friends were getting beat up, and Guillermo
Oh.
looks up, and his friend is getting hit in the face with a wine bottle, and the
Oh my
bottle's not
God.
shattering. He just keeps getting hit over and over again.
Oh my gosh.
And it was so scarring. You put it in this movie and scarred everybody else.
That's insane.
What the heck?
That's insane. Yeah,
Dude, it's
I
insane.
totally.
That
I'm
scene
glad you
is out
brought
of
it up,
control.
but also I'm not because I don't want to ever think about that again.
Collective trauma.
Collective
Yeah, yeah,
trauma.
yeah, yeah.
And then sure, if they were rabbit hunters, remember he pulls the rabbit out
Yeah,
of the
and
bag.
he's like, and he tells his like first in command. He's like, don't like thoroughly
search
check
harder
them
next time, yeah.
before you come to me because
horror, dude, horrifying.
He's an
That, like,
enforcer.
when that scene hit, I was like, "Oh, I'm in for
Yeah,
something I was
what
not
is Pan's
expecting."
Labyrinth?
Yeah, what is this movie?
That
Where's the
actor
labyrinth?
kills it.
Yeah,
Kills
he's
it.
great. They're all fantastic.
He freaks
All-
me out.
all
Ophelia,
amazing.
everyone. It's
Even
incredible.
the kid,
the
Ophelia's
mom,
fantastic.
Mercedes, like everyone is great.
yeah,
The baby.
they are. The baby nailed it.
The baby is amazing. Okay, anyways, so Ophelia completes the first task after this guy gets, slaughtered.
Oh my god.
By retrieving a key from the belly of a giant toad, which is an
Psychedelic
another incredibly scary scene, which I watched while eating lunch yesterday, and I don't recommend that.
That might
Dude, I
be
was
the
eating
worst
breakfast.
scene.
It
to
made me
watch
so
during lunch.
uncomfortable.
I did it
and
this
I think that was
morning.
the point where I stopped it the first time because I was like, I need to not.
Mhm.
And then I just watched like Cody Co or something.
Dude,
for an
I was
hour,
watching
and
this
then I came
movie
back
and I
to it.
had oatmeal, which is just brown mush.
Yep.
And I was like, "Nope,
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I
It
literally
was
couldn't finish
It was
it."
horrible.
You guys
Gross.
both have the like medieval urge to have entertainment while you eat.
Yeah.
That is true.
Dude, I've never thought about that.
It's
like
time
that
to
before.
feast.
But I'm one of those guys where every time I eat, I'm like, YouTube.
You're watching something.
Well, here's
Yeah,
the
it's
thing.
the
Like,
thing.
I take so much less time selecting my courses for like a semester than I do YouTube videos while I eat.
That's
Yeah.
very true.
I like curate my list.
That's
I'm a
insane.
curator.
That's
And I'll have
funny.
moments where I'll go to watch something and I have food and I will not start eating until I
Yeah.
find a video I like.
Yeah, same.
Like, I'll be in the middle
When
of
the food's
something.
cold.
Yeah, and I'll go like my ice cream will be melting.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it has to wait until I find the right Cody Co video.
It's ridiculous how we're all just the same. It blows my mind how humanity is. We're just doing the same thing over and over for centuries, and that's a whole different podcast. Anyways, so Ophelia, before I get too existential, Ophelia
Let's go
becomes
to Pan's
worried.
Labyrinth. Not existential at all. It's
Not at all. Ophelia becomes worried about her mother, whose condition is worsening because I guess her baby is not well, and in turn she is struggling with her health. And Ophelia is told by Mercedes that having a baby is hard, and then she swears that she would never have one because the pain that she's seeing her mother in.
Oh yeah.
And then she reveals she knows that Mercedes is helping out, quote unquote, like the people in the woods, all the rebels, all the
Yeah.
spies.
Pretty much the good guys of the
The good
movie.
guys, yeah. And promises that she hasn't told anyone. So Ophelia knows that Mercedes
Yeah.
is kind of on the good guy side.
But Mercedes, as the movie goes, just gets more and more screen time. Ends up being one of the best characters. in
Yeah,
this
I
entire
agree.
film.
So
a
good,
sleeper
yeah.
hit. Yeah,
So, yeah, she is a
absolutely.
sleeper hit. Because at
Um,
first, you know she's a character, but you don't recognize how important she is.
Yeah,
As it keeps going, you're like, oh, she's amazing.
She's just so cool.
Yeah, she is.
absolutely. But yeah, so then Ophelia goes back to the labyrinth where she again sees the fawn, and she shows him that she got the key, and he says that she will be needing it soon, along with a piece of chalk. Also, is quietly becoming more untrustworthy by saying, and I quote, why would a poor little fawn like me lie to you, but in a very
Uh-huh.
eerie way? And
was
at
terrifying.
that point, I was like, nope, I
I'm
don't
sure-
like this guy whatsoever. I am so, I was so scared. And I don't know. I think it was because of the live action. It's, I think it's similar to me for Dark Crystal. It's a lot of
Sure,
these,
yeah.
puppet live action monster things that really got under my skin as a kid, and I don't know if it's Uncanny Valley, like that kind of thing, like that idea of it's very close to human because it is live action, but it's not quite there, and that's almost makes it more scary.
Yeah.
So it's just that in particular really freaked
For
me
you,
out.
it's like the in between. Like it's
Exactly.
not. If it was like a spectrum, you have full live action
Yep.
versus fully animated.
Yeah.
Or something
Like if
that.
it was a
Your in between
CGI
is terrifying.
exactly. If it was
Yeah.
if it was a CGI version of this character, I would not be as scared.
Really?
Absolutely. It's like a whole theory in like monster making.
If this was a Marvel movie, if he accepted the budget from one of the Hollywood producers, you would have been a little happier.
I would have known that this movie was in Spanish.
Good point.
Yeah. So then a few scenes later, the faun shows up in Ophelia's room late at night, and he gives her a mandrake root, instructing her.
Horrifying, by the way.
Terrifying.
Just appears out of the shadows.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like this character.
Man, I like Doug Jones, but if I was sleeping and he appeared in my bedroom, I'd freak out.
Yeah, I would just, in general, if he appeared anywhere in that costume, I would be like,
he's
nope.
kind of. I love him to death. He's not a weird looking dude, but he could creep somebody out pretty easily.
I don't know what the actual.
You should
dude
look him
looks
up.
like.
He's got a pretty unique look to him.
I look him up like, whoa. Oh God. No, yeah, but so and then the faun instructs her to keep it under Carmen's bed in a bowl of milk and regularly supply it with blood, which seems to ease Carmen's illness. I think I mentioned this before, but Carmen is the mother to Ophelia. Ophelia then gets Moana. Yeah. Ophelia then gets the task to draw a door on her bed. On her wall. In her room with the chalk and follow the fairies once the door opens.
Here we go. Next favorite scene.
Yeah, this is where I came back after a long break, after realizing what I was about to get into. She has to make it back before the last grain of sand falls in an hourglass she has, and she walks into a large room where the pale man sits, not moving. Now, I remember this so vividly as a kid. I remembered every single thing that happened from the second the door opened to the second the top door closed.
Really?
That's the only part of this movie that I remember. And rewatching it, I got chills. I was so scared.
The scene is so good.
This
it was
scene
awesome.
Is really good, but also equally terrifying.
So terrifying. And props to everyone, but I was just genuinely, my skin was crawling.
Which is definitely what they were going for.
That's
so,
the point.
Yeah, they
but
get
it's just
major
so
props.
uncomfy. Yeah.
Also, I will say the whole they told her not to eat anything. She goes in, there's a table full of food.
Yes.
And out of all the things she could eat, she takes 2 grapes.
Grapes.
Come on, dude. If you're gonna break the rule,
Dude,
go
it's
hard.
like the Harry Potter food. It's like a full blown
goes for grapes.
everything.
That's so lame.
That's like in movies where like a kid will be getting ready for school and then the family will have like a full layout of food, bacon, eggs, and everything, and then they exit with like sipping half a glass of orange juice.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, bye. And it's like, you are missing so much.
Yeah, what are you doing?
They take a half a piece of bacon.
Exactly.
I
gotta go.
And they're like, oh, I gotta go to school. And I'm like, no, you're gonna be late to school because that food is looking so good.
It's gonna get you through your day.
Yeah.
But yes. So his
Grapes.
eyes, the pale man's eyes are on a plate in front of him, and he's not moving. There's this big table of food, and Ophelia is directed by the fairies to unlock one of 3 small doors on a wall.
So gnarly.
And when she opens the correct one, she finds a golden dagger. And this is important for later. But before she leaves, she is enticed to eat two grapes on the table. Exactly. Even though the fairies told her not to. And when she does, my trauma begins.
Your boy wakes up.
Yeah, the pale man wakes up. He begins moving very scarily. And he puts his eyes in his hands, puts his hands with the eyes over his face, and bites 2 of the fairies' heads off.
And there's blood everywhere.
There's blood everywhere. He
Brutal.
just slaughters them.
He slaughters them.
And then Ophelia realizes what she has done and begins sprinting back to the door to her room. And then the hourglass tragically runs out of time, and she narrowly escapes the pale man by drawing a door on the ceiling and escaping that way. Barely. You should have seen me watching this. Even now, I was just like, go, run, go. And she's like on top of a chair, and she like gets up. It's awful. But yeah, so Vidal and his men get into a battle with the enemy, and they kill everyone except one, Pedro, who Mercedes is helping. And they torture him, and Mercedes realizes who it is and who Vidal and his men have killed, and she's traumatized and terrified.
Yeah.
And then the faun comes back to Ophelia, and after realizing that she broke the rules, banishes her from the labyrinth and refuses to give her the 3rd task, which is very tragic. But also,
be
why
seen
would
as a
you
good thing.
get the grapes? That's horrible.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yes, the doctor that Vidal brings in is also a spy, we find out, and kills Pedro per his request by injecting him lethally. And after admitting to Vidal that he does not blindly follow orders, he kills the doctor, which is very sad. And also, the doctor did a great job acting. Like, he's a good actor.
Yeah, literally every actor
everyone's
across the board
incredible.
is phenomenal.
Vidal catches Ophelia using the mandrake root to heal her mother, and he gets upset, and her mom throws it into a fire, agreeing with Vidal that there is no such thing as magic, which is heartbreaking because it's one of those, like, hey kid, Santa's not real. But then what she does in response to that is basically like she dies. Like she dies because she throws the magic root in the fire.
Was it because of that?
Who knows? Don't know. We don't actually know what is going on in this movie. And as the root burns, it makes Carmen topple over in pain, and as she begins to give birth, and she dies in childbirth, but the baby is born, which is Vidal's baby, and
Captain Crunch's baby.
Captain Crunch.
Did you know a fun fact? Baby
Mini
played
Crunch.
by Doug Jones.
Oh, dude, that'd be crazy.
He contorted himself into a smaller person.
Dude, Ophelia played by Doug Jones.
Doug Jones.
Just every single person.
That's true.
Yes. So Vidal questions Mercedes, and he knows that she's a spy at this point, so it makes for an interesting conversation. And when he goes to torture her for answers, she escapes by stabbing him a couple of times and cutting his mouth open, similar to the Joker, which I thought was
that's true.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, it was brutal.
It was.
Yeah.
I love how all the violence is not. They never don't show it. They show everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She eventually gets tracked down by Vidal's men, and before she has a chance to be killed, the army of rebels Mercedes has been helping swoop in and shoot most of Vidal's men, with a couple escaping. And yes, going back to Ophelia, the Fawn gives Ophelia one last chance to complete the third task, and she promises to do everything he says. She goes to the room where Vidal and her newborn brother are, and slips something into his drink, and takes her brother away from him, and when he goes to chase after her, he stumbles, not at full power capacity.
He got stabbed a couple times here.
Yeah. The rebels are attacking Vidal's base, and throughout all of this chaos, Ophelia escapes to the Labyrinth with her brother.
Here we go.
And she gets to the Fawn, who tells her the final task is to spill the blood of an innocent, which, by the way, insane.
That's
just crazy.
That last task is like,
everything was
already hard, and then you just drop the bomb on us.
Yeah, you gotta kill your brother, by the way. You gotta spill some of his blood.
What's the problem? This is also when we get to one of the most shocking endings I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god. Blew my mind. Okay, let's get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
So she refuses, and the Fawn allows for it and disappears. He's basically like, as you wish, I'm gone.
Yeah, peace. You don't want it, I'm out.
Just then, right at that moment, Vidal takes his son and shoots Ophelia.
And she dies. The little girl main character in this movie dies from getting shot in the chest.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's insane. Because at this point, again, we don't actually know if it's like she's actually dead, and this is just kind of like the real afterlife of like, oh, she goes to heaven, but like that little flash right before she dies of like her whole life, and she's like, oh, I did it, I accomplished it. Or like, is this like fulfilling the prophecy? Is this real? Like, what's going on? No one actually knows. It's a very thought-provoking ending, which I really enjoy.
It is. And also, like, especially because of the show that we do, where movies like this, the kid is never going to die in a movie like this.
No.
Even in Narnia, the farthest we've ever gone is a kid getting stabbed, but you know he's going to be fine because he's 8.
Yeah. It's also Disney.
It's Disney. He's not going to die. So, like, she just got shot. And I'm like, she'll get back up.
No.
She does not.
No.
She dies.
Yeah, but exactly. Vidal gets out of the labyrinth and finds the rebel army who takes his son and then kills him.
Yeah, it was pretty
which
cool.
Is awesome. But yes. So then her Ophelia's blood spills into the portal, and she realizes that spilling her own blood was the true final task. And then she sees her father, who is the ruler of the underworld.
And her mom.
And the film ends with the ending of the fairy tale from the beginning of the movie, saying that she returned to her kingdom and ruled with fairness and majesty for a long time, and all is well in the world. And that is Pan's Labyrinth. Yes. Going into final thoughts, Annie, do you want to give a quick little, how did this hold up today kind of spiel? What did you think watching it this time?
This was like, it's still an absolute banger in my opinion. Yeah. You know, it's just one of these movies that I think is ageless. I think it'll be a movie that I can look back on even when I'm old and gray.
Yeah.
And still enjoy it, because I think the dynamic between this like realistic, dramatic, and violent reality versus this, you know, fantasy world is, I think, just a brilliant dynamic that you don't get from a lot of other movies. So it's very important and still very special in my heart.
Definitely. Yeah. Pelton,
I'll go quick. I think this might be the best movie I've ever covered on this show.
Interesting.
This movie's fantastic.
Fair.
I love that. We could honestly talk about it for 2 hours. I have so much more I want to say.
I agree.
And you haven't yawned anymore.
I stopped
You're
yawning.
awake.
Yeah, I'm
you're
fully
awake.
awake. Yeah, this movie is phenomenal.
Yeah. This is not the movie that I thought it was from the beginning.
Same.
But I was pleasantly surprised. This is a hell of a lot more better than a lot better than I ever thought it could be. and I was so genuinely excited by the end. I was like, wow, we actually got somewhere where like we both hadn't really seen it, and we were both just like pleasantly surprised. Yeah, so this is great. And one final thought on Pan's Labyrinth. I can't believe this got greenlit. Yes.
Feels good.
Thank
Feels
you,
good.
Andy,
I enjoyed that.
for being on the show. You have been a wonderful guest. This has been such a fun time.
Thank you for picking also the best movie we've ever done.
Yeah, this is.
Of course. I mean,
officially
it's
get that
an
title.
honor. I mean, this is amazing that you guys kind of felt this way, and it was all this like recent thought, you know, that went into this.
First time.
Exactly.
First time.
Everyone, make sure to tune into Andy's house Wednesday mornings at 11 a.m. on WCB.live. And yes, thank you all for listening. Tune in next week for a very special episode of ours, a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving
episode.
And I'm so excited. Yeah. Tune in next week for that, and we will see you then. Bye.
Adios.
Bye.